Greetings, Commanders. We are here with a number of very unconventional builds. This is a Python Mk2, which has been kitted with 4 advanced plasma accelerators, which are a power play module, which is the version of plasma accelerators that has a much higher fire rate to begin with. Furthermore, these plasma accelerators have been engineered with rapid fire 5 and multi-servos, making them the fastest shooting plasma accelerators in the game. Now, plasma accelerators are notorious for their slow fire rate and high alpha damage. These basically work very differently. These are configured and set up from a fire group perspective, as you can see here, to be fired in what we call a Gatling pattern. A Gatling pattern uses a macro that is a very simple key press macro, which essentially taps the next fire group like this, as you can see from the screen. Every 40 milliseconds, it changes to a next fire group. When in conjunction to that macro, I also press the fire button, the effects is to fire like in a pretty much machine gun pattern with, I want to say, pretty devastating effects. Now, what we're going to find here is a tanky ship, probably an Anaconda, but let's see what we got. There's an Alliance Chief, which is also a pretty tanky ship, but hopefully we can find ourselves a nice, juicy Anaconda while we're at this hazardous resource extraction site, because the effects will be most prominent against an Anaconda. And I will not lie, if an Anaconda is also much easier to hit with my very, very average, if not below average, skills with the plasma accelerators, since I don't really use them in AX combat very much. What else is there to say about this build? Other than that, it's like pretty standard. The thing I've done is I've mapped the heat sinks to the fire group of the plasma accelerators in order to give me the maximum amount of energy and cooling that heat sink can afford. Each active heat sinks provides 2 megawatt of power to your weapon power distributor, and consequently allows you to fire at a much faster fire rate than you would if you're just relying on your distro alone. Even then, even with 6 active sinks, the power distributor of the Python Mk2 is not sufficient to allow for firing at maximum fire rate, and consequently your distributor will deplete eventually. That is the reason I'm also using a weapon-focused power distributor, which has a much higher distributor capacity and which will allow me to fire for somewhat longer, even with the maximum amount of heat sinks active. Now, needless to say, this is a bad build. It is not something we recommend. It is not something we're suggesting you use. It's merely for the memes and the fun, because, well, it's kind of fun. And obviously the only kind of semi-tanky ship I have right now is Chieftain, which is clean, and I don't feel like shooting clean pilots. It feels like some kind of moral obligation against doing that. Nor poor miners out there. And obviously the moment we actually want pirates, we don't see any. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our peak frontier gameplay, which is log to menu, and log back into the HADS-Res and see what the roll of the dice gives us. Now, keep in mind, with 6 serious heat sinks, with their 5 heat sinks each, you have just 50 seconds of fire, which is really not a lot. So, Federal Shopship, Eagle, come on. Let's see if we can get an Anaconda for demonstration purposes. And again, you have a maximum of 50 seconds of fire, of continuous fire with a machine gun Gatling type of fire that you will see in a moment. In reality, if you were to use this build, I would probably use it with just 1 sink at a time or 2 sinks at a time. We got a Python, we got a Phantom. Come on, there's got to be an Anaconda somewhere around here. Let's see if we can visually ID among some of the ones down there. Anaconda is pretty big, so it's kind of usually easy to spot. But I don't see any. There's one. Finally, we found our little Anaconda. There we go. And for whatever reason, Anacondas tend to be usually wanted and hazardous resource extraction sites. Alright, so let's give it a swirl. Now the maximum range of these weapons I think is around 3.5 kilometers and the fall-off range is 2 kilometers. But even at 2 kilometers you're probably not going to hit anything, so like, kind of like, well, also night vision, it's like so dark around here. So anyway, off we go. We put pips in web, we switch to the Gatling firepower and we open up. It banked, but we beat the bank. We're out of ammo, was reloading. No more Conda. There you go. So that's the Gatling. That's the Gatling Plasma Python Mk2 for you. Again, this is not a build we recommend. It's for fun and memes only, but it's a lot of fun for the memes. Again, let me demonstrate just in blank space the fire so that you can see the actual fire rate of the ship itself. It's now, I can actually show it nice and pretty. Off we go, firing. This is a Gatling Python Mk2. Hope you enjoy these videos, and as always, if you find them useful, please remember to like and subscribe. With that, glory to mankind, Commander Mechan, over and out.